basically. They want, they want everything for nothing. Basically, they don't call it that, but that's essentially it. I can just imagine your tenants. I'm sure Graham's got stories. Yeah, and that's just the way it is. And from the lower income, calling it nice, something try to say something nice about it. The lower income strata, but Rose can talk about that. The lower income strata.
Well, I'll be getting out after this seminar.
Yeah, the lower income strata. But is everybody here? Is that a yes, or are we counting them up? Okay. Sally, so what are the plans? Other than the too expensive champagne, I'm telling you, they didn't pay enough for that champagne. But what is the agenda or our schedule?
Sure.
And we have an extra course with our evening meal tonight, right? Yeah. Yeah. And then when are you passing out the gift? No. Okay. So far, what's the takeaway for you guys listening to all these cases? What do you see in common or not in common, or other than Rose? Yeah.
It always resolve around the same rules, and we, personally in the past, I overcomplicated it.
Everybody in this room's overcomplicated it.
So even the big deals can be simplified.
Correct. Correct. Everybody overcomplicates it, and the people. Well, you only listen to one guy, Frank. It's not that. To some people, that it sounds impolite with how he's doing it now, and believe me, some of the people that he talks to just slam the phone down too. They think it's impolite as well, but the bottom line is, if you want to follow the model, you want to cut to the chase and not fuck around, because time is money. And even the successful deals that have been accomplished by you guys that have done deals in the room have taken way too long. And by your own admission, you'd say they've taken way too long. Now, when you compare them to how some of the other deals are done, you can just see how way too long. Where it's taken you months, that at the most it should have taken weeks, and in some cases days. But to ascertain whether it's a deal or not, it shouldn't be much more than hours, really. Much more than hours. But then, because if you don't have enough in the sales funnel, and you've only got 8 in the sales funnel, and you go through one, let's say a day, that means subconsciously you realize you got to replenish the funnel. And how do you replenish the funnel? Emails, cold calls, and you don't want to do that. So you string out, you squeeze these things out as slowly as possible, hoping for the best that everyone's going to be a sale. Anybody that's been through the sales process. Yeah.
How much, in percentage-wise, how much time does Frank spend prospecting versus selling?
Well, now he's integrating these 3 deals.
Yeah.
Okay. And that took him, I don't know if he mentioned it, a lot longer than he thought it would. He used to be project manager. He was a project management. And like he said, so some of this was easier for him because he knew how to set up the funnel with project management. He knew how to give responsibilities and make people accountable. But now he's accountable, and he's making the owners that are staying on for a certain period of time accountable. And the owners aren't used to being accountable. By definition, they're not accountable. Nobody told them you can't take 500 euros out of petty cash before. Now petty cash doesn't have 500 euros. Now petty cash has 50 euros, if it's got that. But before, petty cash was their pocket change. That's just one example. Okay? They take supplies home because it was their supplies, right? It's their company. They can do what the fuck they want. And it's not anymore. So, when you put these benchmarks in place, it can get, it can get tedious because you have to follow up. And the owners that are staying for some short period of time aren't used to taking orders. They're just not. And depending on how, no, pardon?
How are you coaching you through that?
Well, I mean, I told him, how in the weekly reports, 3 alternatives, right? A, B, C, 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3. And I said, normally the one that is the least comfortable to you is probably the right answer. And another way to say, okay, of these 3 alternatives, let's say the owner's not responding, the owner's not coming into work, whatever. Okay, what would Dan do? Well, no, we already own the business, so it's not next. But I mean, what would Dan do? How aggressive do you get? But at the end of the day, you either want to buy, and I mean 100 or 200 companies, or you don't. It's really simple. You either want to buy, and I'm not saying the minimum or the benchmark is 100, but let's just say it's 100. In any of your models, if you bought 100 of those things, you'd be wealthy. Even fucking up the management. Any of them, even the little ones, if you bought 100 of them. So how soon do you want to buy 100? How soon do you want to, get closer to the exit? It's really simple when you break it down that way. And so, I mean, Frank, he already has another roll-up he wants to do. So he wants to get through this one in the next 2 or 3 years and exit. And because I don't think he would have rolled this one up knowing what he knows now vis-a-vis the margins, because there's another one that's got twice as big a margins. Same effort, twice as big a margins. You don't have to be a genius to figure out that the personal rate of return is going to be at least double.
How many do you want to buy?
I think he said 200 or 300. Yeah, you can. But in the beginning, I don't want you to have teams. I want you to do it because that's how you learn. Because then when you have an acquisitions team and these guys come back and they show you the results, because Fran's actually done it, this is horse shit. I mean, this is bullshit. You guys have been playing golf all afternoon. And that will happen. They will. We've had guys, the biggest error is when you hire a call center from someplace to do all the legwork and then they don't do the legwork. And because you're paying them so little money, you think that, but you get what you pay for. You get what you pay for. But I mean, you want, the acquisition team is the team that actually goes in, and closes up the deal and moves on to the next one. And moves on to the next one. And then you have the task of the job to keep the acquisition team with deals. Otherwise they leave because they're getting paid based on the successful deals. And if they don't have deals to work on, they move on to someplace else. So you got to keep throwing red meat in the cage. The red meat are the targets. And then pretty soon, you're a public company, and that brings a whole other set of rules and regulations. I mean, most of you in this room will find it difficult today. Would find it close to impossible being the CEO of a public company. Because you can hardly do anything now. I got out right at the right time. But they say I got out right at the right time. They said Peña would be in jail if he was still running a big public company. I don't know about that part, but I mean the shareholders want to know this, and they bitch about this, and then they can affect your share price, and then so your net worth is based on somebody's carrying some fucking placards out in front of your building. I mean, it's a bitch. It can be a bitch. Okay, is Kim ready? Kim? Okay, give her some room. She's going to